5 games, 4 man of the match performances. That's Elliot Anderson's start to the 25-26 season, sparking conversation, sparking debate, with the inclusion of his name solely within that England midfield for the long-term future. We'll leave that debate for another day, but Elliot Anderson at 22 years of age is a wonderful player, and simply that needs highlighting, that needs analysing, and that needs exploring on a much deeper level. Now, Elliot Anderson, aka the Geordie Maradona, has impressed massively with 2 man of the match performances in his first England call-up, and we're actually leaving the international break with reasonable optimism and enthusiasm for the first time in a while, and I think he has some responsibility for that. His 2 performances were superb. Against Andorra, a much lower quality opposition than Serbia of course, he shined brightly on his debut, accessing that final third consistently and executing a clean defensive performance when needed, and then a hostile, tricky away visit to Belgrade posed as no issue to the 22-year-old, once again flourishing and impressing us all. But how exactly did he get here? Well, Elliot Anderson is Newcastle born and bred, progressing strongly through the ranks from the age of 8 and signing his first pro contract in 2019. January 2022 saw his services passed on to Bristol Rovers on a loan deal for the rest of the season. The side from the southwest looked to the young man as that difference maker, pushing them over the line for the goal of promotion from League 2 to League 1. 7 goals and 6 assists later, Bristol Rovers were promoted on the final day in dramatic fashion, achieving promotion by 11 more goals they scored than Northampton Town over the course of the season, as the 2 teams on the final day were tied on points and tied on goal difference. A 7-0 win on the final day considered the job done, with Anderson turning up with a goal and 2 assists playing off the left side. His successful loan spell led to 2 seasons of senior minutes for Eddie Howe's Newcastle before being reluctantly sold to Nottingham Forest for 35 million. Newcastle's PSR struggles forced an agonising overview of Anderson's breakout on the red side of Trent. Now let's construct an even deeper overview of that skill set of his. Anderson starred in a very defensively compact, direct, counter-attacking team, where most of his performances would be deemed reliable, consistent and unnoticed. He occupied mostly in a pivot alongside the likes of Dominguez, Yates and Sangare, appearing 37 times, where you'd see him feature in a more deeper box-to-box like role, being the key link to accessing that final third for counter-attacks. Anderson on the ball would often receive the ball in much deeper pockets of space. Forest don't spend too much time with the ball, so he's immediately going to be looking forward. But Anderson performs as an extremely tidy, clean, all-round player whose close ball control is outstanding, is off the charts. Once he receives the ball, he's capable of turning his frame very cleanly, therefore taking the ball within his stride very neatly too, setting up his next action with pure ease. He's a simple player on the ball, but also one capable of more sophisticated playmaking. He shares a cool and controlled manipulation with the ball that factors in his ability to find more space, but also not take so many touches. He's a very touch-efficient player. If we take a look at some clips here, you'll notice he only takes 2 to 3, maybe 4 max touches before he executes the pass, whereas passing then varies very nicely. Anderson is more than capable of hitting a crisp, direct loop ball into the flanks, where his accuracy is then superb. He doesn't mind taking his time, but his efficiency with the ball and improvisation of moments in tight spaces is just fantastic to watch. And a component I love watching with Anderson is just how good of a forward passer he really is. Morgan Gibbs-White has shared the pleasure and luxury of being on the receiving ends of Anderson's forward passes. He loves to pierce the ball through cleanly through a crowd of players, right into the feet of a forward player, striking it with real conviction without overhitting it. The pass is always precise and commonly struck with a bit of speed and intensity into it, just to spark that little bit of tempo into the rhythm of the play. That little input of momentum can be key to a move occurring much faster and opening up a little bit more space just that bit quicker. He ranks nice and high for progressive passes per 90 with 5.40 recorded as of last season, and as you can see here, he likes crossing. He can deliver that ball with speed, conviction and nicely ahead of the target, making it an easy ball to get onto and also giving that opponent less time to try and anticipate and spot. Something else he'll also star in is those progressive carries. As you can see here, he ranks nice and high. Anderson doesn't rely on large amounts of spaces to excel or run into. His first touch is excellent. That could be to the feet or bringing the ball down, and then that ball control spills across to those tighter spaces. He's capable of using his body effectively by pushing his arms out to any arriving tacklers, creating that separation, maximising his ability in full strides and withholding any pressure. Anderson glides by opponents effortlessly, here moving the ball side to side and swiftly changing direction to escape those tighter spaces. Although he runs into a lot of traffic at times, Anderson doesn't make it a habit of holding onto the ball for too long and being dispossessed. Instead, he'll distribute the ball tidily or use his body to guard the ball to win fouls, as seen by the 1.90 fouls drawn per 90 last season. He's not afraid for a more physically equipped battle in the midfield. Anderson has good upper body strength and really excels in winning those scrappy second balls where play turns a little messy and uncoordinated, showing all-round prowess and complementing his box-to-box skill set as a midfielder. Now, Anderson in front of goal certainly isn't the most prolific player in world football. He does have the tendency of striking the ball wide of the mark and does sometimes struggle seeing effort saved a lot. But overall, he's a pretty decent box crusher late in the box, showing an eagerness to get his head onto the ball, beating players with dribbling in the box and making the odd run in behind. He's definitely not terrible here, just inconsistent. He is only 22. But an area we have not discussed yet is his off-the-ball expertise. Nottingham Forest hardly press, but Anderson is pretty good at it, likely from his time with Eddie Howe, who's tremendously effective in his coaching of a high aggressive press. This rubs off on Anderson's game, but overall shares a very good understanding not only tactically but positionally, where he is and how to time it. He's a hard-working asset that jumps onto his man very suddenly, springing off the spot, showing a very proactive mindset that senses danger instantly. You can see this star for England against Andorra and displayed massively for club as well, both for Nottingham Forest and Newcastle United, capable of introducing a transition from defence to attack quite quickly. A persistent, lively presser, capable of covering large distances and stabbing his foot in and around the man, showing off good ball-winning qualities. When much deeper, he is an organiser of the pact, a communicator out there on the pitch, where he'll show no fear competing for duels, hinting towards a no-nonsense style to his skill set, maybe even a tad too much, with 10 yellow cards last season. It's going to be tricky for any manager to leave him out of the starting 11 or leave him out of a squad because he's just so reliable. He's capable of fulfilling that dirty work, but also has the technical qualities to win you football matches. A 7 out of 10 consistent type player every week that a manager can count on, a workhorse-like mentality where you can draw comparisons to the likes of James Milner, Federico Valverde, Jordan Henderson, the sort of reliable qualities that you just can't turn down, and the ones that particularly go unnoticed. Simple ball playing mixed with intricate playmaking and considerable amounts of yards covered on a weekly basis is a manager's dream, the ideal profile for a box-to-box midfielder. That's Elliot Anderson, and that's how good he is at just 22 years of age. Now, there's lots of competition for those England spaces. You have the likes of Declan Rice, Adam Wharton, Curtis Jones, Jude Bellingham, Kobbie Mainoo, Conor Gallagher and loads more. But Elliot Anderson, should he continue this consistency, deserves to be at the top of that pile, alongside the likes of Declan Rice within that midfield, because truly he is such a good footballer. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. What do you think of Elliot Anderson, and should he be starting within that England midfield? Let me know in the community tab. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.